Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video, I wanted to discuss what is possibly, in my opinion, the most underrated YouTube analytical tool when it comes to growing your channel. Whenever we talk about analytics on YouTube, we often talk about your click-through rate, your audience retention, all your different traffic sources, and so many other things. Other analytics that are undoubtedly extremely influential and important when it comes to your videos and your channel's performance. However, in my personal opinion, one of the newer analytics that I think is really underrated and super influential is your top 10 video rankings. So as soon as you upload a brand new video on YouTube, the second that video goes live on YouTube and YouTube begins to show your video to people, that is when YouTube begins to automatically start looking at your audience satisfaction signals. Things like your click-through rate and whether or not your videos are enticing people and getting them to click onto your video, as well as the audience retention, which judges how long people are watching your video for on average. Then, exactly 30 minutes after you first upload that video, there's going to be a little bubble that pops up on the analytics of that video to give you your video's ranking of your last 10 uploads. And if you click on the little arrow on the rankings analytic, it's going to show you your last 10 videos and where your new upload falls within those last 10 videos. So if, for example, this new video you have just uploaded has gotten, let's say, 110 views in the first 30 minutes. Then some of your other videos in your last 10 uploads got, let's say, 95 views in the first 30 minutes or 300 views in the first 30 minutes. This tool is essentially going to rank your last 10 uploads in order of which one got the most amount of views in the exact same amount of time. Now, if you guys know me at all, you know that when it comes to vanity metrics like subscriber counts and view counts, I tend to really try not to pay too much attention to that because I much prefer to focus on more like performance-based metrics, things like audience retention, click-through rate, and all that sort of thing. However, I have noticed a little bit of a pattern ever since this tool first came out, which is that usually whenever I have a new upload that I post on YouTube, YouTube really only pushes out that brand new upload if the performance and the views that video gets in the first 30 minutes or the first hour is usually within the top 5 or the top 3 of my last few uploads. If I upload a new video and that video is ranked like 8th or 9th or 10th, usually YouTube does not push out my video all that much. So even though I'm trying to really not focus all that heavily on the actual view count of every one of my videos, this is a really helpful tool that YouTube has only given to us pretty recently that really helps you to paint a much bigger and better picture of why exactly a video is or isn't performing on your channel. Basically, it all comes down to your audience satisfaction signals, which I feel like is something I've been saying a lot in my recent videos, but that's really because audience satisfaction is one of the biggest signals that not only YouTube's algorithm, but also all the other social media platforms are really focusing on in 2023. As I've discussed in a lot of my other videos, as soon as you upload a brand new video on YouTube, YouTube shows that new upload to your most active audience, as well as a little tester group of potential audience members who are not necessarily subscribed to you, but who usually watch that type of content on YouTube. If that tester group of potential viewers clicks on your video immediately as soon as YouTube shows it to them, that is then going to send a very strong audience satisfaction signal back to YouTube's algorithm. Whereas if the opposite were to happen, if YouTube does show your video to that tester group of viewers and a lot of people skip it, they don't click it, they click on another video on their recommended page or in their sub box, that will then send the opposite signal to YouTube's algorithm and tell the algorithm to not push out your video and stop helping it grow. So what I have definitely learned since this tool first came out is that it's much less important to the algorithm exactly how many views your video gets, and it's a lot more important what satisfaction signals the algorithm is picking up on. When it comes down to your last 10 uploads ranking, your newest video does not have to rank number 1 or number 2 of your last 10 uploads. It really just has to do better than your 9th or 10th ranked video. If out of your last 10 uploads, this new video is ranked 3rd or 4th or 5th, that is still going to give your video a much better chance than if it's ranked 9th or 10th. There are so many old theories out there on YouTube that you have to have a 45% or higher audience retention, that your click-through rate has to be 5% or higher, all of which is 0% factual factual and none of that actually matters. It really does come down to your channel's current performance and statistics and analytics, and whether or not this new upload you have just put out is performing better or worse than your average performance. So pretty much what all of this means is that when you have a brand new upload on YouTube, you want to be a lot less focused on how many views your video got in the first 30 minutes or the first hour, and you want to be a whole lot more focused on your video's actual ranking in your last 10 uploads. If you're wondering why your newest upload is performing really well on YouTube or really poorly on YouTube, usually the answer to your question lies right there in your video's ranking. So now that I have given you guys a little bit more of a better understanding of how this whole top 10 rankings thing works, now I want to share a few key strategies I picked up on in the last little while to really make this work for you and your channel. The first thing that I think is really important to accept and be okay with and embrace is that sometimes you're going to upload a video that is going to rank 10th. There have been so many times in the past that I would come up with a video idea that would really excite me, that I was inspired and motivated to create, but then I would tell myself that this is a topic that doesn't perform well on my channel, this video is not going to get good views, I would get really insecure about the numbers, and then just completely psych myself out, not allow myself to make that video, and make a video that I knew and could predict would do really well. But now just learning to embrace that not every single upload is going to be a hit, not being embarrassed by a video getting much lower views, really just getting into the headspace of creating completely and totally unafraid, this has changed my life. You also have to accept as a creator on YouTube that it is nearly impossible to predict which video is or isn't going to blow up. Usually about 9 times out of 10, it is the last video you ever expect that is going to blow up. And if that is the case, if that is the mindset and the headspace that we all have to adopt as creators on YouTube, well then you may as well just create whatever content it is that speaks to you. Then my second tip and strategy is to be regularly and consistently looking at your top 10 video rankings and really trying to see if there are any common themes or topics among them. For example, just looking at some of my more recent videos and the views that those videos got, some of them are well under 2,000 views, a couple got 6,000 or 8,000 views, then some did a little bit better and got 10,000, even over 20,000 views, and some completely and totally blew up. But every single time I can very easily track which themes and topics on my channel are going to get higher or lower views. It is nearly impossible to predict exactly how a video is or isn't going to perform on YouTube, but you can definitely look at the common themes or topics across your content to figure out which one or ones typically do better or not so well. Usually if I'm talking about how to gain more subscribers or views, or if I'm talking about different ways to make money as a content creator, those videos tend to do better. Just like how I have some creator friends who typically get more views on their budgeting videos, some people who get more views on their routine videos. Looking at your analytics overall, it's pretty easy to tell which topics or themes are going to do better. Personally, for me as a creator, I found that having a very healthy balance between uploading content I know is going to perform well and just uploading content I am very passionate about, that I want to share with people, that I want to put out there on the internet, that for me is the perfect balance that keeps me inspired, that keeps me motivated, and keeps me creating. Then another strategy I highly recommend is repurposing your higher performers. Of course, seasons change, people change, what is popular or relevant is going to change all the time, but if, for example, you have a video on your channel that blew up about how to grow on Instagram, then it's probably a good idea to make sort of a follow-up video, sort of make another video about how to grow on Instagram, but just share some new advice and different tips than in the first video. If you uploaded a school morning routine that did really well in 2021, then maybe it's time to make a version for 2023. Especially if it's a video that you uploaded fairly recently that did really well on your channel, then maybe it's time to turn it into a series, make a monthly version every month. Really just use this strategy in whatever way works for you. And then for my last little tidbit of advice for this video, just like it is so easy to become obsessed with your view counts and your sub counts, it is so easy to become super obsessed with your video rankings. Even though it is so easy to become really caught up with all those numbers and those rankings, really try to not let that become the utmost important factor in your video making process. Try not to let that become the #1 determining factor that decides what you do or don't film or do and don't upload. Just like any other analytic in your YouTube studio, it's just another number and it's not a reflection of how good or bad your videos actually are. And it is most definitely not a reflection of your value as a creator. Focus on creating content that you have a passion for. Focus on creating content that you are enthusiastic about sharing with people, and really just treat the actual performance of the video as a little bonus on the side. Just my advice to you from one creator to another. But yeah, you guys, that is it for this video. That is everything that I wanted to share with you about this tool, how to understand it, how to use it. Hopefully this was helpful, insightful, inspirational in some way, shape, or form. As always, thank you all for watching. I love you all to the moon and back, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!